Hello everybody and welcome to another Create PT Wealth webinar. And today what I want to be doing is unpacking one of our methodologies on how you can effectively secure more clients by using free or low cost trials. Now, this particular topic I find of relevant interest because I find it to be quite a controversial one in our industry. And what I mean by controversial is, every year we get to speak to thousands of fitness professionals, and commonly I'll hear people who are not a fan of free trials, who don't like giving away free stuff. I'll hear people who only use free offers and free trials and are big fans of it. And of course, I hear everything in between. So off the bat, what I want to tell you is that I guess I'm not here actively trying to promote you to do free trials or low cost trials, but what I am here is to promote you with what we would consider to be some strategies in terms of what would be best practice. If you're going to use some type of trial, some type of offer to get people through the door, then we need to make sure that we're using a process to guarantee a higher level of, or a more successful conversion with these people coming through the door. And for those of you who are live on the webinar, I'm going to get you to answer this for me, please. And just, what are the two things that most fitness businesses want more of? And should be a pretty easy one to answer, and it's probably the most common thing we hear at Create PT Wealth. The two most important things that we hear most people are requesting in their fitness business. So those of you who are live, follow me straight into the chat box, and I'll keep an eye out for those coming through. We've got here someone saying they want more clients. Yeah, but I definitely agree with that more. And someone saying more money, more freedom. And so when I break it down, thanks of you who are participating in that. And when I break it down, typically what we hear is people want more leads and want better marketing, which produces more leads. And then of course, what that means for them is a better conversion process, which does, in fact, as T's typed in here, lead to more clients. And so those two things. More leads, more sales. And once again, if I had $1 for every time I hear that from fitness professionals around the globe, then it would account for quite a fair bit of revenue in just that alone. Let me tell you a bit about my business partner, Jason, when he first opened his gym in Brisbane. And this is a photo of the exact gym. And when this facility opened, the concept was, let's build, at that point in time, we're going back about 20 years now, let's build the biggest and the most equipped, facility. And this was in an 800 square meter building. And the photo probably doesn't depict the enormity of it, but it was definitely a huge gym. It was well equipped, had plenty of stuff in there. Now, if you look closely at this photo, what you'll see is sort of down in the sort of the bottom right hand corner of this photo, there's a stairwell. So what happens is people used to walk up a set of stairs. This particular gym was on the top floor of a commercial facility. And what Jason discusses and what he talks about is the fact that when they opened the gym, of course, they decked it out with all the best gear. People would walk up the stairs, and the first question they would ask would be how much does it cost? I think that's usually the first question on many people's lips. And what Jason and his business partner had done, they'd carefully printed off these beautiful little flyers and had them nicely graphically designed, and they had the prices on there. And people would walk up the stairs and they go, "How much does it cost?" And they go, "Here you go. Here's a flyer." And what Jason speaks about is he watched many individuals walk, say thanks very much, they'd take the flyer and walk straight back down the stairs, and Jason would happily wave them down. And what he speaks about is in those early days when it was like, well, we didn't have a method or a system or a process really, we just thought we were doing the right thing. Someone asked for the price, we gave it to them. And he thinks back to those days and thinks, how many people did we sort of wave off down those stairs, and how much business and how much money did we basically wave down those stairs? And his experience was it was almost going broke as a result of it, having this huge facility but not enough clients. What it meant for them was that they started to re-engineer the way they did things. They went around the gym, and of the members that were there, they surveyed people and they said, what do these people want? Why are people coming to this gym? And they identified a few different main points. And one of the main points was people were coming there to lose body fat, to change body composition. They also found that people were coming there to gain muscle and to become stronger and become bigger. And then they also found there was a group of people there that were just happy to come along and, improve their health and well-being. And this was, typically the people that were in their 50s and 60s and beyond, who were just turning up to want to be fitter and healthier, basically. So what they did, they started to re-engineer the way they offered programs, and this is what led to them launching programs like the Trim and Tone program, because of these people coming into the gym saying, look, I don't want to go into a competition. I don't want to be super big. What I want to be is I want to be trim and toned. And of course, us in the fitness industry, we can laugh at that topic or that terminology of trim and also tone. However, for many people, they do connect and they do resonate with that language. For them, it generally means I'm a bit leaner and I've got a bit more muscle definition. And these type of things become game changers inside that business. And so what we want to share with you is some examples on how just tweaking certain things inside a business can make a big difference. And so really what we're talking about here is this whole strategy where we're commencing with the lead generation component. Now, of course, we need to get people through the door in the first instance. And then from there, once we've got them through the door, we need to have this plan where we're building a greater level of awareness, where we're building a stronger relationship with these people, because people will buy from those that they know, they like, and they trust. And what it means for you is that then these people are in a better position to want to do something with you. Now, depending upon what research you read and what stats you are familiar with, there's somewhere between around about 3% and maybe no greater than about 6% of people that are ready to purchase today. So I'll just state that again. There's somewhere from around about 3 to 6% of people are ready to purchase today. And what that means is there's around about, very roughly about 95% of people who aren't quite ready to buy today, but they're on some particular position on a sliding scale. Everything from I'm interested, but I'm not purchasing today, through to I'm interested and I might be purchasing in the future, right through to I'm not even aware that I have a problem or I need a solution to it at this point in time. So what we're going to be speaking about today is how do we try and maximize our ability to convert people through this process and turn them into ongoing clients and customers. So I want to run you through what we call our 4-step method when using a free offer or a low-cost offer. And once again, I want to reiterate, whether you use a free offer, whether you use a low-cost offer, quite simply, I'm not too fussed about one or the other. I like them both. I've used them both. We do use them both, and we have clients that use both of them as well. So I would suggest to you what's most important is the strategy or the process that you put in behind it to make sure you do effectively convert these leads. And I want to share with you a few of our clients and real life case studies and the type of examples that people have done. And some of these people have done it on incredibly low cost, incredibly low budget. So that's what we'll be working through today. So let's talk a little bit about, first of all, why most free offers and low cost trials can potentially fail. And number one is, for many people, there's no real method, and what we call it's the hope plan. It's fingers crossed. I don't really have a strategy, and what will happen is I'll invite somebody in for a 1 week's free trial at the gym. They come in, I don't really give them much energy or enthusiasm. Sure, they can come along to the classes or whatever might happen, and at the end of it, all going well, hopefully they're going to ask me if they can continue on and where to from here. So that's kind of our observation of that. Also, what we've witnessed is that for many instances, there can be no real effective sales process. And so what happens is, once again, we're kind of at the mercy of the fact that people would come in and just love it from day one. Next thing is having to wait to convert a potential client. This one's a biggie, especially when you might have a longer startup period. So let's say we're talking about a 14-day trial or even a 21-day trial, which I've seen in many instances. We've seen situations where people bringing people in for a 14-day trial, and from day one doing a good job as these people come through the process, but then sort of waiting until day 14 before we start having that conversation about that person wanting to continue on. And the other thing I really hone in on here is the fact that for many people, doing this can be quite a daunting experience. And so if we want to consider and put on the hat of a potential client, and think about what they might be going through to even start one of these trials. For many people, it could be a daunting experience to rock up to this facility. I'm overweight, I'm out of shape, I'm not really sure what's going to be expected of me here, I'm unfit, all the rest of it. Then there's a chance that, hey, that might make me a bit wobbly to even start. Then from there, let's say I turn up and let's say I'm on a 2-week trial, or let's say I jump in and I go guns blazing on day 1, and I turn up again on day 2, and I haven't had much real guidance about what I should be doing. They just said, hey, here's a bunch of classes, or here's some sessions with a personal trainer. But I go guns blazing day 1, day 2. Now, if I'm out of shape, then there's a pretty good chance by day 3 I'm pretty sore. I can't move, and well, I've got to take a day off, and that DOMS may be so severe that I need to take the 4th day off as well. And before you know it, I've started to lose my rhythm. I've started to lose my where I might have been placed with this, and maybe it's enough for me just not to turn up. And hey, if there hasn't been a good follow-up process, maybe I've just kind of lost the momentum and I don't complete it. And then the last part is, in many instances, there's not much in the way of incentive for people to get started today. And the way I would view it is, I'd say if people have taken the time out of their busy schedule to respond to an offer that you have, to fill out some preliminary documentation that you might have, to physically turn up to a consultation, to physically turn up to start this, there's a pretty good chance they want to do something. So in my opinion, there's your opportunity to be able to make these people an offer on the day so they can get started and get going. So let's talk a bit through it. This is a client of ours. Paul McVie runs a few facilities down in Melbourne, Extreme MMA, or Extreme Mixed Martial Arts. And so Paul's offer, interestingly enough, was a 30-day free trial. So quite a comprehensive offering there. Now, like I said before, I said 14 days seemed long, 21 days seemed long. This is a 30-day free trial, so pretty impressive. But they also knew that what they offered, they had plenty of things on there that they had on offer for clients. And what they would do is they would bring people in on day 1, and they would sit them down, and they had a very specialized offer. I'm going to give you an example of how that looks just shortly. So you might be looking at that, go, geez, 30 days seems like a very long time to convert somebody, but we want to show you the methodology behind how you can start to get these people active and get them engaged from day 1. So let's talk about how you need to do it effectively. So first things first is you need to be very clear on who it is that you're going to target. Is there a specific niche that you're talking to? So if I flip back now just to the Extreme Mixed Martial Arts, they had several different types of landing pages for several different types of niches. So they run kids classes, they run MMA classes, they run Thai boxing and kickboxing style classes. And so what would happen is they would specifically create their targeted ads towards people in those exact niches. And so they would take them to the landing page. Now, because it's a large facility and they're catering to lots of different people, they kept the offer the same. However, what it meant for them is they would just take that offer and send it to a different type of niche. Next thing is have some type of hook or some type of carrot to get the inquiry and to get people to want to take that first step with you. So, you might just have some sort of bonus, some sort of incentive, some sort of offer for them just to come along and take that first step. Next thing is you need to make sure that you do have a sales process ready, even when you're starting to take the inquiry. And shortly, what I'm going to do is go through some call scripting and how you can make sure that we're going to confirm that this thing has a greater chance of going ahead. And you want to make sure that on day 1, you've got an incentive to make this thing an absolute no-brainer for people. And this is the part where it falls down in many instances, because what it means for you is you can have more people signing up on day 1 or in week 1. Step 1, so let's talk a little bit about it. What is the carrot? What's the hook? What's the thing that's going to get people excited enough to want to take that first step? So once again, if I break it down and I'm speaking to a specific type of target niche, and I'm specifically targeting people and guys in their 20s and 30s who want to gain muscle, well, the obvious thing is going to be our Muscle Accelerator program, and we're going to target to those people. And here I've given the example of a 2-week trial. Now, with any type of promotion, then you need to have some type of build up around that, and of course that would commence with you making the most of any organic type of opportunity that you've got before you start paying for ads and all the rest of it. You want to have a build up to this. You want to start speaking about the Muscle Accelerator program. You want to start speaking about the benefits of the Muscle Accelerator program. You want to start speaking about the case studies. You want to speak about clients and examples of people that have actually used your methodology. Now, let's say that you haven't yet named your program. You can take your methodology that you use and you can give it a name. And you can say to clients of yours, look, you know, this training that we've been doing and I've been taking you through these type of exercises and so forth, I'm about to give this thing a name and I'm going to call it the Muscle Accelerator program. If I do, are you happy because you've been getting great results? Are you happy to put your name against it and give me an endorsement or a testimonial? And the idea behind it is, once again, what we're doing is, instead of just going, hey, come and have a trainer, come and have a gym membership, come and have a week at our facility. Instead, what we're doing is come and experience what the Muscle Accelerator program is like. And you want people to start asking questions and being curious about what this thing is and what it can deliver. Of course, in any form of marketing, you need to test and measure different types of marketing to know exactly what is coming through the door. So what's coming through organically, and what I didn't mention just before was this idea about utilizing your database. All of you need to collect names, emails, phone numbers, and make sure that you've got an active database. Make sure that you stay in communication with that database. From whatever you hear out there, I'm going to get confirmed for you today that email marketing is not dead. Email marketing is still alive and well. And there's stats out there that show us that specifically there's more people that check and read email than there is people who jump on a social media site. And I'm going to repeat that again because some of you might be sitting there not believing that. There is more people that check and read email on a daily basis than there is people that visit a social media site. What does that mean for you? Well, you need to stay abreast of email marketing, making sure that people do communicate with you. Some of the facts, yes, there will be less people opening email in this day and age, but I can tell you that it is still alive and well. The last stat that you might find interesting is that those people that have an email account, 99% of people will read and check their email on a regular basis. And then the last part, those people that do check their email, the average time someone checks their email is upwards of about 20 times per day. And I guess you can have a think about your own usability of email and how frequently you might use it and how many devices you can have it on, you know, computer, iPhone, iPad, whatever that might be. Last thing is you do need to know and be very clear on what your end game is. What is it that you're going to offer and what might be some incentives on trying to get people to make a start today. So keep in mind that what we're trying to do is we're trying to snap people out of a trance that they could be traveling through day in, day out. And your concept here, your methodology, is to try and get people excited about taking action today with some sort of bonus, some sort of incentive. All right, so let's have a look at one particular client of ours. Now, this was a client of ours who was running a group program. And the reason why I want to particularly show you this one is that when Kevin had launched this, he's a personal trainer, an individual personal trainer underneath the roof of an Anytime Gym over in Western Australia. When Kevin had commenced with us, he hadn't hired his first personal trainer. He was a solo independent operator. And Kevin has used here some marketing copy, which is, you know, specifically talking to a small group of people. Now, before using this, he was basically just putting a post up saying, hey, I'm running a group class on this date. If you're keen, come along, and put a price against it. Now, we've done a little bit of minor tweaking, and we're just trying to make this like as easy and as simple as possible. And so once again, what he did is he spoke to his active clients and he said, what is it that you're looking for? And they pretty much said to him, well, they were looking at fat loss and they were looking at tone. And so what did it become? Well, it can become the Rapid Fat Loss and Tone program. And when I look at this artwork, I'm not sitting there going, wow, it's revolutionary, it blows me away. But what I can tell you, the fact is that he was able to attract people and spark their curiosity. And you'll see that there was more marketing copy inside this particular post and beside this ad that he did. But what it did, it sparked off that curiosity with people. What he did was he had a 14-day free trial application for people to come and be part of this. So what he was offering was a small group training offer that he was doing underneath the roof of the Anytime Gym. So how did it work? Let's have a look at some numbers. Well, what he did was he spent some money on Facebook, and as you can see, he spent $160. So we're not talking huge amounts of money there, and at $8.42 per lead, I would consider that to be quite a good result. Now, we've had clients be able to acquire leads for much less than that, but I would be happy to pay $8.42 per lead any day of the week, providing that it was a good lead and a genuine person as well. Of the 19 leads that he generated, he was able to book 15 consults. And once again, when I look at those numbers, I say that's an excellent conversion rate from maiden inquiry through to somebody taking that next step. Of those 15 that he had, he was able to sell 11 of those people into his particular program. And once again, when I look at it, I go to collect 19 leads and to sell 11 of those in. That's a great result. And once again, I would take that any day of the week following this sort of strategy. And so what that meant for him on the front end, it meant that he was able to sell in just shy of $7,000 in program signups in the first instance. And that's for people who are taking up his incentive or his offer in the first instance. Now, keep in mind that this does not equate to the lifetime value of a client. Now, of course, this was on his initial program that he was running people through. From there, what it meant for him is that he would have people continue on some level, and that they would become an ongoing client, and of course continue on that type of group program. And so the lifetime value is going to be way larger and way more attractive than that over the time, and quite easy for any of you to figure out your lifetime value of a client, and you'll see that really the money is in the list in the database, and making sure that we keep these people engaged. Let's have a look at another client of ours. This is another MMA facility, Damian Brown's facility. It's called Base. And so with Damian Brown, what we've worked through was the idea that there'll be a 14-day trial. So once again, we're using the 14-day. People would have an expression of interest. So what would happen is then, following the system or following the process, people would get invited in to the facility. And so what they would say is, look, before we have anyone doing any of our classes, what we're going to do is we're going to bring you in and just assess your level of fitness and your ability to be able to run through this program. So we'd love to invite you in and sit you down to have a consultation with you. We'll show you around the facility, and we'll bring out the timetable, and we can advise you what might be the best classes, what might be the best things that you should participate in over the next 2 weeks. Then what they would do is they would, of course, do their initial assessment and consult with these people and get some understanding of where these people are sitting fitness-wise and what might be the best fit for them. So what they would then say to them is to go, what we run here is 12-month memberships. Now, this is not a get fit overnight. What we're doing here is we're building strength, we're building fitness, we're building well-being into the future. So that's why we run this particular type of membership. So if you have a look down the left-hand side where the black is, and that's what was called the trial period, that's okay, you can complete your trial period, and of course we know that you're absolutely going to love it here and it's going to be a great fit for you. At the end of the trial, here's how it would work. So for you to get registered and for you to be part of our affiliation here, there'll be a registration fee of $150. And then the weekly training fee will be $70 per week on direct debit. And of course, what you'll need is you'll be doing our Jiu-Jitsu strand. You'll be required to invest the $169 for the gi. And then for our gradings that happen several times a year, there'll be $250 required per grading. However, the special for you to kick off tonight, and of course people have been pre-qualified at this point in time to know that they are a good fit for this particular membership, is that we can offer you, and this is only for the first 20 people, this was their launch when they first opened the facility. For the first 20 signs, we can knock that down to half price. And what it means for you is we can also reduce your ongoing direct debits for $55. So you're not going to be paying the $70 standard fee. It comes down to $55. And what we'll do is tonight we'll chuck in the gi, and we'll also make sure that the gradings that you do will be at no cost to you. So This is on night one, and then what they said is, what will happen? We'll sign it all up today. However, your first direct debit is not going to come out until 2 weeks' time. So you've still got 2 weeks up your sleeve to make sure that this is 100% the right place for you. And if for some reason it's not, please let us know. We know you're going to love it, but if for some reason this is not for you, at the end of the 2 weeks, of course, you're not obliged to go ahead with this. This worked incredibly well right now. This facility, it's only been open for a couple of months. It went from 0 clients, currently sitting somewhere in the 80s right now. So strong, in just a couple of months, a strong uptake of new people coming through the facility, and plenty of growth still in this place to go. So let's talk about locking in the trial and how do we make sure that this thing's going to go ahead, it's going to be a success. And this part is really critical, because what I find is that for many people, they're just going to hope for people to turn up. And it's like, tire kickers, this idea of a free trial can often be met with a bit of negative and type of resentment from people. And the other thing is that it can be more challenging. It can be harder to sell something that's free as opposed to something that people would actually invest in, and that one I find incredibly powerful. So just to reiterate that again, it can be harder to sell something that's free as opposed to something that people have paid for. So you need to make sure that you do have a process that's prepared, that it's polished, and we've got our scripts and so forth. So let's get into talking about that part. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down this example phone script in a couple of parts, just so I can unpack a bit of strategy around it. Now, when someone makes a phone call and they call somebody up, usually what happens is they would usually have some type of introduction like this. Hi there, John. It's Brad here from Create PT Wealth. That would be pretty normal. Then usually what happens next is, this is the part where it can sort of make or break this part. So what many people would say is something like either, are you having a good day? Have I caught you at a good time? Is this a good time for you to chat? Any of those things. And I'm going to let you know straight up that that's sales call suicide, because if you've ever had that experience and you've ever called somebody up and the first thing you've said is, have I caught you at a good time? It usually gets met with a bit of resistance. And for many people, we're sort of programmed to not really want to speak to somebody when this is happening. And so my suggestion is we need to start to alter this, and we've been getting some great results with clients using this strategy that I'm about to unpack for you today. So this line here, if you don't remember anything else from today's webinar, please remember this part, because it'll be a game changer for you. It goes like this. I know that I've interrupted your day and called unannounced, so I will be brief. I know that I've interrupted your day and called unannounced, so I will be brief. So you get the idea behind it. What are you doing is you're basically sticking up your hand and going, hey, I know that right now I'm a pest. I'm an unwanted guest on this particular phone line. I've called you unannounced, so I'm acknowledging that. So I'm going to get straight to it. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. I've seen that you've registered for our Rapid Results 14-day free trial, so I just wanted to inform you about what happens next. So the idea here is to go, what happens next is a cool terminology as well, because what you're doing is you're assuming that this thing's going ahead. Before we get to that, I've just got a few quick questions for you. And right now, here's where you can start to commence a brief pre-qualification. You can start to explore where they're at, a few of the pain points. And so you can then let them know we have a few steps that this process involves as follows. So if I just go back to that for 1 second. So the idea here is we want to get straight to it. We want to let them know, and you'll of course know when you're speaking to somebody, you'll get a feel for the person on the other end of the line, how keen, how committed they are to this process. Are they tire kickers? Are they interested, or whatever? So, and you'll know the right type of people to invest the right amount of time, effort, and energy with. All right, so here's where your free trial really does need some structure. So people will need to be guided through each step, and you'll need to make sure that you take control of this part. And this is the part where it creates more buy-in and makes them sticky. Now, through this process, what it means for you is that you are going to have to do some work, put in some time, some effort, some energy, some enthusiasm to make this a success. And here's where many fitness businesses fail, is that you can think, oh, well, this is free. And so because it's free, I'm not getting paid for it. And because of that fact, what I'm going to do is probably not put in as much time, effort, or energy to it, because hey, these people aren't paying clients at this stage, and why should I? You know, I've got real paying clients here. So I'm going to let you know that if you're going to use a process like this, you're going to need to put in some time, some effort, some energy to really make these people feel valued. If you've made the offer for free, I want you to go in there and treat these people like they are full paying clients and give them the best of your energy and their enthusiasm. So step one is we're going to start to, build some really strong rapport around the initial phone consult. Step number two, and this is the bit that I like, is that my recommendation is you want to actually physically bring these people in, get them to sit down for a face-to-face chat, bring them in for a fitness assessment, bring them in for a gym tour, whatever it might be, but there needs to be some sort of person-to-person connection here where we're bringing these people in. Instead of just going, hey, yeah, we got the class starts on Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Just rock up and you'll see the instructor. His name's Johnny and he'll welcome you along. No, my recommendation is we need to have some sort of formal consultation where we're having these people have a greater level of buy-in. And we need to make sure that we set up the expectations and the goals, making sure that this person feels like, hey, I'm in really good hands here. So once again, I've paid nothing for my free 2-week trial. You bring me into the gym, you sit me down, you give me a half-hour consultation, you find out as much as you can about me, you speak to me about what it's going to be like, you pull out the timetable and you say to me, okay, here's my recommendation, Brad. I'm going to recommend that you come to this particular class here. I'm going to recommend that you have this day off. I'm going to recommend you come back to this class. Then on Friday of this week, which is day 4 of your trial, I want to book another meetup with you. I only need you for 15 minutes, but what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a recap on everything that you've been doing so far this week, and you can just ask. I can answer any questions that you might have. So we've got an element there of customer care and customer service, and that's what we'd call the midway check-in, consult, and potentially the offer. Now, excuse me, if I go back to step number 2, that sit-down consult, that's where you'd actually physically make an offer. Here's our special that we've got available for you tonight, and this is available for tonight and tonight only. And again, I'll give you all an example of that, a client of ours that used that. Then let's say that we get through the end of the 2-week trial, and let's say that this person still at this point in time hasn't signed up. Well, of course, we'll book another consultation. We want to get some feedback. We want to figure out where to from here. So let's have a look at this particular business. Now, this was a boot camp business that we work with in Brisbane here, and Jacob built a highly successful business, a really good following, and so forth. And so what the trial that was on offer here was a 2-week free trial that they offered. And how did that all come about? At the time, many boot camps were offering a 1-week free trial. So the idea was, let's buck the trend a little bit, let's turn it into a free 2-week trial. But what they decided was that because they not only offered boot camp, but they offered PT as well, they said is we'll have the initial call and we're going to confirm everything. We're going to do some pre-screening. And then what we're going to do is we're going to book you in for a one-on-one consult. Here's the way it went. They said, we will not let anyone come and join our boot camps unless we first of all bring them in, and we're going to run them through a basic fitness assessment. We're going to run them through some basic movement screening. We're going to sit down, we're going to have a chat, we're going to find out as much about you as we can, because we want to make sure that we have you doing the right fit, the right program for your body type. Now, straight away, what this meant for the people who were coming through this trial is that they were feeling well looked after. Not only I don't have to anymore turn up to a boot camp with 15 or 20 other people. I'm feeling nervous. I'm not sure what I'm meant to do. Am I going to be the unfit one? All the rest of it. No, I've been brought in. I've been looked after by one of the coaches here. And these people have brought me in with open arms, and they've run me through, and they've had me do some squats and some lunges and some push-ups. And they've basically said to me, hey, yeah, look, you're going to be a great candidate for working out with us and being part of this program. Then what would happen is during this process, there would be a special offer that was available. Now, the offer that they had, because they were also promoting and selling personal training sessions, they said, what we'll do is the special offer for you today is if you sign up today, not only you've got your 2 weeks for free, but what we'll do is we'll give you your first 2 weeks on the program at half price. And so what that means is you're going to get a month of our bootcamp training at basically the cost of 1 week. So this is now, what they've done is that they've built massive value around it, and we're also going to give you 2 bonus sessions with one of our expert coaches and PTs here. So here's where the value add part comes in. And why are they doing that? Well, they wanted to also expose people to PT and having a PT, because many of those people ended up doing both bootcamp and PT. So they might do the unlimited bootcamp package with 1 session with a PT per week, so they can focus on their strength and so forth as well. Then what they do is they had 3 different pricing options, and they have what they would call their standard pricing option, which is, and this is all on direct debit, by the way, $66 per week on direct debit. By the end of week 1, the price that someone could get it for would be $55 per week. However, if they signed up on the first night, then they could get it for as low as $49 per week. Now, keep in mind, this $49 per week, they'd figured out and they calculated that this business could be profitable at $49 per week. Now, if someone got to the end of week 1 and signed up at $55, well, that was their prerogative. Basically, these people had the option to sign up at that $49. And then, of course, at the end of the 2 weeks, let's say they still hadn't signed up at that point in time, well, the $66 was their option at that point in time. Of course, what they did is they made sure that they had that midway consult and made sure that that was booked in. And of course, they made sure that there was some sort of final offer or some sort of final incentive to try and get people over the line if these people weren't quite ready. So over the course of 2 weeks, really what's happened here is there've been 1, 2, and as many as 3 opportunities to be able to convert these people. Now, keep in mind that this conversion process, it doesn't need to be pushy, it doesn't need to be salesy, it doesn't need to be aggressive. It just needs to be as simple as trying to get people to take the next step in the right direction, some way that's going to benefit them and their business. All right, let's go back to that call script, because like I said, I was going to break it down in 2 parts. And the first part was really about just the introduction part and you know, how to make sure that we've got someone engaged on the phone. From there, let's go into a little bit more about it. Now, keep in mind that we do have a more comprehensive version of this phone script, and I'd love to share that with any of you who are watching this at all, whether you're watching this webinar live or you've been lucky enough to get your hands on the recording. So please, just in the chat box, if you want to get your hands on a more comprehensive version of the script, then just write the word script, and I'll make sure that I get that across to you. So just type that into the chat box now if you want to get a copy of that script. All right, so let's continue on. So before anyone starts with this special trial, we'll bring you in for a one-on-one consult with our coach. What we're going to do is we're going to assess your movement. We're going to give you some feedback on where you're at. Plus, we're going to plan out the next 2 weeks. And I believe I've been explaining that for you today on this training. There are limited spaces available on this opportunity, so I just need to make sure that I'm speaking to someone who is a person of integrity and keeps their commitments. Is this you? So the idea behind this, once again, is just to make sure that we want to eliminate any type of tire kickers, any freeloaders, any people that are just probably not the right fit for us. And then from there, we're looking, it's very unlikely that someone's going to say, oh no, look, I'm definitely not the person who's going to not keep my commitment. I'm definitely coming to this thing. And then therefore you can say to them, look, that's great, because we do love working with people that have the same values as we do. Now, my commitment to you is that you'll hear from us to confirm this appointment and learn a bit more about what we do. And at this point in time, this is where you want to start your, what we call, indoctrination process. So someone's in your database, you want to make sure that you start sending out some good quality information to people to fill their head, to make sure that they're in the right spot. You're going to send them out some case studies. You're going to send them out some examples. You're going to put their mind at ease and make them think, and for them to know that, hey, yeah, I'm in the right spot here. These people really do care, and they really are the type of people that I want to work with. All right, let's continue on. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions of a personal nature? And so the idea behind that is, you know, we want to start to dig a little bit deeper. Okay, so achieving this goal, you said you want to lose this 10 kilos. It's going to take some time, it's going to take some effort and some energy. Are you ready to commit all these 3 things? Of course, you're looking for a yes. Obviously, after this trial, our service is not free forever. So are you ready? Are you a person that's ready to invest in yourself to get these results? And once again, you're looking for a yes. And finally, you can say to them, from what you've heard so far, do you think that we can help you get these results? And this one's incredibly powerful. So what you're doing is everything you've seen about us, everything we've discussed today, from what you hear and what you've heard of us, do you feel like we're the type of people that can help you to get these results? And what you're looking for is a yes. And then you can ask them, why do you think, why is that the case? You explained it to me. And typically what would happen at that point in time is the person would say to you, look, well, you guys are the experts. You guys have got the track record. You've got the case studies. You know, I can see why this is going to be a good fit for me. Now, once again, I can only give you a small portion of this script today because we are limited on the time that we can spend on this. But please just put in the word call script in the chat box there, and I'll make sure I get a copy of it across to you in more detail. The other thing about scripts, of course, is you might see some wording or some language where you say, look, that word there that doesn't resonate with me. That's fine, no dramas at all. Core scripts are there to be tinkered around with, to be, you know, tweaked to the nature of how you do things. So from there, you can confirm with them that you're honestly pumped to have them join you, and that they'll be coming along to be part of this program. Let me share with you another client's success story. This is Jess Sullivan. Jess runs F45 in Woolloomooloo in Sydney, and also in Haymarket in Sydney as well. Now, when Jess first embarked on our program, and Jess has been on our coaching program for coming up to 3 years now on Create 50 Wealth's internship program. And when Jess first started with us, she was at around about the 220 odd members at Woolloomooloo, which was a great result for an F45. And with our assistance and our program, we've been able to increase that up to 400 plus members, which is an amazing result for an F45. Keeping in mind that these are a $69 per week membership on direct debit. Now, when Jess first started, we were looking at some lead generation methods, and the F45 strategy was to offer a 2-week free trial. And anyone at most F45s could jump on the website, register your details for a free 2-week trial. What Jess said to me was that she was getting a lot of tire kickers and a lot of no-shows. Now, they were running a pretty strong business already, because you can see there were 200 plus members. I said to her, what happens to these people that have, let's say, signed up for a free 2-week trial and not turned up? What happens to them? And Jess's response to me was, well, nothing really. We just assumed that they didn't want to go ahead, or we were just really focused on our current members and given the people that really want help. I said, fair enough. I said, I reckon we've got a lot of people that have probably registered for this and never showed up. Now, think about it once again. Let's go into the psychology of a client. You've registered for a free 2-week trial, and for whatever reason, you had all best intentions to go and you never turned up. And then you had all the best intentions to go the next day and you never turned up. And day 3 rolled around and you never turned up. And then at that point in time, the guilt, the shame started to kick in, and you've probably thought, well, I've started to miss the opportunity. After 1 week, you've probably thought, well, it's pointless now doing it. And then at the end of 2 weeks, you've probably either forgotten about it or just thought, look, I've missed the boat now. I would also suggest that it would be unlikely that some of these people would go, what I'll do is I'll sign up for that free 2-week trial again. I think the psychology would say for most people, look, I've missed it, it's too late. So what we did is we had a look into the database, because they've got good tracking of statistics, and this is why you need to have some good stats in place. I said, how many people have registered for this and never showed up? And there was approximately 650 people that had registered and never showed. That's a huge number, right? So what we did was we decided, and these people hadn't been contacted. Well, we divided the campaign where we could reach out to these people. Now, because they're registered for free and never show, we decided that what we do is we'd go back to them and we'd offer them a offer of a $14 for 14-day trial. So we now, instead of them having free, you've missed out on the free opportunity, but you do have the ability now to buy a low cost, and this is where I say low cost trials are great, they still work. So of those 650 people, we sold over 140 of them at that $14. Now, that brought in almost $2,000 of upfront revenue. And keep in mind, these are people that are on the database. Jess hasn't had to pay a cent in marketing to get these people. Of that, there was well over 50 of them, of those people that did turn up this time, and she was able to convert over 50 of those people at $69 a week. So you can see the return on investment there. It's huge, you know, it's $3,500 a week. And really what it means is the money is both in the database, but also in the system, because what happened was just piece together a great process, as we've discussed today, on how to bring somebody in for an initial consult. The other thing was that I said to Jess, do you have the ability to sit these people down for a half-hour consult? She said, no chance. She said, it's incredibly busy in the studio. So what we had to do is we had to design the abbreviated version, and we had to make the 8-minute consult. And it was standing up at a plyo box. And previously they hadn't used any price presentation type documents. And so what we went to was making a four-way fold out document. And this is you can see the two bits in the middle of the back of it, and then the fold out at the front there. And then it opens and discusses the main part of the business on the left-hand side, a bit about us, in the middle there, a bit about our client results and what we do, and then over on the right-hand side, our various membership packages. And so this was a nice, graphically appealing way where they could present what they had on offer, and it definitely helped in their conversion process. All right, so let's discuss now the action plan. The question is who is it that you want to target? What are you going to create as a carrot? What are you going to create as an offer? What's going to be the incentive to get these people to take action? Just to, number one, to register for this, but number two, to physically turn up. And then the next part is figuring out, well, where am I going to start promoting this? Am I going to start trying to do it organically? Am I going to take it to my database? Am I going to take it to my socials first? And then after that, once I feel like I've exhausted that over a week or 10 days, well, then we can start paying for sponsored ads and so forth. Next thing is you need to give it a name, okay? And the reason why we do that is we just want to make sure that we can differentiate this from everything else out there, and you can start to be experimentational with that, and how we can inspire some curiosity. Of course, you want to design some sort of sales process and the specific steps that are involved, and be very clear on what the special offer might be. And when you're planning out your social media, you need to make sure that we've got what we call the curiosity hooks. And the idea behind a curiosity hook is having something that's out there that's a little bit different, that can stand out from the pack. Because if everyone in your local area or that are targeting your particular type of clients on social media are saying, burn fat faster, burn fat faster, burn fat faster, you need to find ways to buck that trend. You need to find ways to be able to assist people to take that first step without them getting caught up and consumed by everyone that's saying the same thing out there. Now, if this is all sounding good to you and you're liking the concept behind it and so forth, however, you still find it challenging, you still find it frustrating to be able to put some of these processes in place, then what we'd love to do is to provide you with a little bit of help and a little bit of assistance. So if you'll allow me to discuss that, what we'd like to offer you is some help for free, okay? And we want to show you how we help our clients earn well beyond 6 figures working less hours as a personal trainer. So what we're happy to do is we're happy to have a look at your business and review a plan that might overcome some of the current blocks to achieving the financial success and the lifestyle that you desire. And what I'm speaking about right now, there's absolutely no cost to this, and there is absolutely no obligation of any kind. So what we're just inviting you to do at this point in time is to take the first step with us. And the reason why I'm making this available today is because we provide business coaching. It's the main part of what we do, and we specialize in the fitness industry here. So there's a great chance that we can help increase the profitability of your business without you making costly mistakes, without you wasting time or working ridiculous hours. So if you find value in the help that we can give you, then you might want us to continue to give you some more help to coach you further down the process. And I'm going to make it very easy for those of you today who want to explore this. Now, before we go any further, you just need to know that we can't help everybody. We can only be of benefit to people who are serious and committed to growing their fitness business right now. And I'm going to let you know that it does take an investment of time, energy, and money to achieve the type of business goals and lifestyle that you desire. So here's what you need to do next. If you want to schedule an introductory call, an introductory planning session with either myself or my business partner, Jason Jovanovich, then you can take the first step now. And all you need to do, I've made it as simple as possible, just place a yes in the comments box. And that's all you need to do, just to place a yes in the comments box. And from there, what that will enable us to do, you'll hear from either myself or from Jason. And once we have that information, of course, we'll set up a time, because what we'd love to do is just to chat to you, to learn a bit more about you personally, learn a bit more about your business and what you're currently doing. Or maybe you've got a question for us that you might like us to answer, or just to give you some help with. So you might, in reference to this presentation that we're talking about today, you might say, look, I'm a bit blocked on this particular area, or I've tried this and this haven't worked. I guarantee you, this is what we do day in, day out. And every year at Create PT Wealth, we have 150 plus clients who join our higher level business coaching programs. And on a daily basis, what that means for us is we have a massive community of people who are out there trialing these offers, who are sharing their experiences, who are giving feedback and offering suggestions on how we can tweak this and make this better. So please allow us to be your coach for this brief period in time. And what we want to do is be able to run you through the process behind that. And all you need to do is to type a yes into the comments box, and we can supply that offer for you. And it's exactly what these people have done. So Jess, that we mentioned before, from F45, and you can see from the headline there, she, when working with us, she'd signed up 36 new members in just 2.5 months since she joined the program, which was a great opportunity for that particular business. And what it meant was well over $2,000 of revenue. Now that business has gone well above and beyond that, but it's an example of that. And this one's a great one as well. This is Rob Denmark, a client of ours who's been in our internship program now for 3 years. Rob's done many of our programs, and Rob was a fitness first personal trainer. He was working long hours. He was making good money. He'd achieved his income goals. But the thing he was saying that he hadn't pretty much seen his son, because he was up early in the morning off to the gym before his son would wake up. And then he'd get home late at night when his son was in bed. And basically what he's saying is in his son's life, he didn't exist that much through the week. And so this is the photo of the first day that he was home for his son's dinner, and what an achievement it was for him. So not only did he have a strong, profitable business, strong, healthy and profitable business with trainers working for him, but it also meant that he was able to have more lifestyle, which was incredibly powerful. So here's the part where we talk about breaking old habits. Now I want to ask everybody a question. You've probably been on these kinds of presentations in the past, and you get all excited, you get fired up, and what can happen the next day? Well, probably nothing for many people out there. Because what can happen, it can be sad, because we love to share with people the exact system, how they can create a business that would convert more paying clients in them working less time. However, what can happen is many people go back to their regular pattern and just do nothing. And the reason why is these are what we call habits, and old habits are hard to break. And you probably know this within your personal training clients that you train as well. You can be in your business the next day and you're pretty much doing the exact same habits. The only way you're going to be successful in business is if we figure out a way to break that habit right now. And the way you're going to do that is just by making a start. And that start is just by you typing a yes into that comments box. And what that does, that opens up the opportunity for us to at least talk and see if there's a way that we can give you some assistance. And like I said, absolutely free, because we want to help you and give you these tools on how you can become successful. Now, if you don't, you might simply slide back into your old habits. And of course, we've got no problem with that, but we do want to make sure that you have put yourself in that position to win and get the most out of success. And everything we spoke about could be completely useless, because there's a potential it could go back to your old habits. So the only way to do that is to get started right now. We're going to invite you just to take one small step in the right direction. Now you'll have the tools to break that habit and take your business to the next level. So if you only got one valuable piece of information, it would still be worth the investment of your time and energy, but I guarantee it's going to be much, much more. So go ahead and take this first step now. Register your interest for this brief conversation, because I guarantee it could be a massive game changer for you and your business. And all you need to do is just to type in that yes into the comments box, and we can organise that for you. And we want to make that available for everybody here. Those of you who are watching live, and also those of you who are watching the recording retrospectively. So as I sign off from this, I want to thank each and every one of you for attending today. I want to acknowledge the fact that you're investing your time, your effort, your energy into bettering yourself and your business. And please, as always with us, those of you who have been around us before or understand our philosophy, our own mantra, the door is wide open, and all you need to do is to reach out to us if you're looking for some help or some assistance on how to build a better, stronger business. So I'll sign off now, and just want to say once again, thank you to everybody who's been here and been part of it today. And I look forward to connecting with you in the future.